Media, film and TV. Stories being told of our society, both real and imagined. Educating us on our history. Bringing to life imagined worlds full of magic. Creating characters that we can laugh with. And cry with. Can you remember the first time you saw someone that looked like you on screen? Women were allowed to perform in theatres until 1660. White actors predominantly portrayed ethnic characters until a few decades ago. Only in the last 2 decades have we been seeing LGBTQ+ stories and characters becoming more and more mainstream. We see this trend as society becomes more open, accepting, and politically correct. So too does our media reflect these new values. Yet, less than 5% of film and TV in the last century have had content or themes of disability. This tiny 5% is not reflective of our society, where 22% of the UK population have some form of disability. So, where is the diversity? Where are the opportunities? Did you know 95% of disabled characters in film and TV are portrayed by non-disabled actors? This is a practice called cripping up. This practice takes away opportunities from disabled actors and perpetuates the idea that disabled actors are not capable of portraying these roles. Since the Oscars began in 1929, there have only been 3 winners who were disabled. Harold Russell in 1947, Marlee Matlin in 1986, and Troy Kotsur in 2021. But why is it so problematic and controversial to cast non-disabled actors in disabled roles? Casting non-disabled actors in disabled roles often results in inaccurate and insensitive portrayals of disabilities, such as reinforcing the stereotype that disabled individuals are inherently tragic, in need of pity, and perpetuating harmful ableist attitudes.
It was nice to see you again!
Many of these actors do not have lived experience from which they can draw on, instead relying on these stereotypes or inaccurate research for the role. Additionally, where disability is portrayed in film and TV, it more often than not is a trope or a plot point to either move the story forward, is a joke,
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman,
or simply just ticks the diversity tick box.
Wow, so this is what equality feels like.
Let me give you a couple of examples of how specifically deafness has been handled in film. Compare A Quiet Place, directed by John Krasinski, with The Silence, directed by John Linetti. Both have identical plot lines, yet have approached it in completely opposite ways. In The Silence, the deaf character is played by hearing actor Kiernan Shipka, who uses inaccurate sign language throughout the film and inaccurately portrays deafness throughout the movie. Whereas in The Quiet Place, the deaf character is portrayed by deaf actor Millicent Simmonds, who is a native sign user. The Silence didn't have any consultants or advisors on set regarding deafness or deaf culture. In A Quiet Place, Krasinski and his wife took it upon themselves to not only research and approach the community respectfully, but they pushed to hire a deaf actor for the role, had ASL advisors and interpreters on set, and even learnt sign language from Millicent herself. These two movies also had completely opposite reactions from the deaf community once they were released. The Silence got absolutely slammed by the deaf community for its disrespect and inaccuracies towards deafness, deaf culture, and sign language. A Quiet Place was praised for their handling of deafness, its representation in the movie, and the efforts that the crew made in order to include and accommodate it. It really doesn't take much to make accommodations, and in fact goes a long way to making an entire community feel included. By making these accommodations, by casting authentically, and including disabled actors in the diversity lineup, we can move forward with creating a truer representation of our society in film and TV. After all, representation matters. I asked you guys a question at the beginning of this video. Can you remember the first time you saw someone who looked just like you on screen? If you answered no, and/or believe that representation does not matter, you are part of the privileged majority where you could see people like you everywhere, and your voices could be heard. But for people like me, who grew up with no representation, with caricatures, disinformation, and misunderstanding, we still have to fight for our space. For our voices to be heard. For the rights to be on the same playing field as you.
This validates the fact that we, deaf actors, can work just like anybody else.
To finally see ourselves reflected back to us in the stories that we consume. There are no words. Nothing to describe the feelings or emotions of seeing that representation.
It was the first time I saw authentic deaf representation on screen in Children of a Lesser God. It really inspired me, and I felt connected, and really gave me hope as an actor to pursue acting.
I'm going to leave you guys with a quote from my personal idol, Marlee Matlin. We aren't handicapped in any way, except by what other people think. Focus on people's abilities. I can't be on American Idol, but there's all kinds of stuff I can do. I couldn't go on American Idol either, but I can make a mean batch of brownies. I can also make really pretty jewelry. And I can act. I am a deaf actor. So where is my space? Where are my stories?